Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for hosting us, my friend Saul, and beautiful new guests who are coming here. This week, obviously, it's 1 week before what we call Purim, which we're not going to have a lot of time to speak about, but I definitely, whoever is interested in celebrating or connecting to what we call Purim, please reach out to us or text so we can get you some more information about it. Prior to Purim, we have a new beginning, a new book called the Book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. It's a new book which represents this part of the 5 books of Moses. The third book what we represent what we call the level of Binah, level of clarity. That's why this book, for example, we always teach first children starts to study that book, right? The entire book, what do we want to receive from that entire revelation is not just this week, but the next probably 6, 7 or more weeks, plus minus, will connect us to something that is missing in our life. And every person, no matter from a childhood until now, I can tell you that element is missing. And what missing? Spiritual devotion. Spiritual devotion. It's something that we can learn to become devoted, and it's something that is needed in every aspect of our life. If you would tell me that you are devoted worker or employee or a partner or devoted a boss or devoted friend, right? How much are you devoted? Again, take your devotion for physical thing. You're even not devoted to your body sometimes, right? You're neglecting your body. You know, many of us sometimes, thinking that we are devoted people. For what? What is your devotion for? And is it even similarly to your spiritual path? And this is part of what you want to awaken here. Because when we're talking about devotion, we're not simply just talking about, I'm devoted and that's it, right? It's something of a muscle. It's something of growing and something that develops. Because obviously, when you devoted to a certain study, for example, or for a certain project that you do, once the project is done, you're not devoted anymore, right? I gave it to somebody else. The creator of this world, even if you gave, let's say, you're born into this world, the creator doesn't leave you a second alone. It's devotion to us and to our work and to our process it's almost impossible to explain it. Actually, it is impossible to explain it. The only way is that the person himself can reveal how much the Creator is devoted to every part of you, every aspect of you. And then eventually, if you're going to reveal that, you will be as devoted to the Creator as well. Again, it might be that religious people are very devoted to that, but that's important to understand. It's not simply to be religious about things. It's not simply just to show up to things. It's to do the work. Are you devoted to the work, the spiritual work? Or when things get tough or it's harder, then I'm going to be more spiritual. Oh, I'm okay now. I don't need anything. Everything worked. I'll get back to you when I need something, right? Or when things goes bad. We know that, each one of us need to find where can we increase more. So this week, we know that it speaks about, and the Torah gives us direction. It doesn't just give me some idea, simply exactness of what a person can do with himself. Now we know when we're talking about the Torah, the reason we we're reading from the Torah is because the way it was structured, that today we don't have the holy temple. Today there are no sacrifices or the altar where you sacrifice things and people all bring offering and all of that. Doesn't exist today. It's only by reading about it, it's as if you are connected to it. So it says that's why you have to hear the reading about the sacrifices. Because if you think and claim that you are devoted to anything, to your work, to your friend, you are devoted to your gym membership, right? To your to workout, or to your yoga, or to your meditation. What are the sacrifices of today will tell you how much you devote. If it was not with sacrifices, sacrifice time, sacrifice effort, sacrifice money, sacrifice something from himself, the devotion is very weak and it's actually not real in a way. So as the Kabbalists explained, if I don't feel that I sacrifice, again, a lot of people conceptualize their sacrifice. What did you sacrifice, right? So devotion has to be as closer as you can to what you sacrifice. If the sacrifice is big, meaning you are really devoted to that. And as a result of that, you're going to start extract, or at least revealed, how the Creator is devoted to you. Because for us, it seems like the Creator created this world and create me and left. Or some people, might believe it's an alien. Or you came out of the ground mysteriously, and they whatever people think, have ideas, okay? Once again, your devotion dependent on the amount of sacrifices. Without sacrifices in relationship, a lot of people, I'm very devoted, a husband and a devoted a father. What are you devoted? To go to work and make money. That's my devotion. No, that's your nature. A devoted father is the extra mile that you do. It's when you're not interested to take care of the kids. That's when you need to do it. I'm devoted mother. Yeah, when it serves you. Or I'm devoted girlfriend or boyfriend or partner. When it serves us, we are devoted. When we not get the feedback, we're not devoted anymore. So that's what's important to awaken for ourselves, to know this is what we're building up. Because as a result of you building a devotion for your spiritual path, you need to know that same results you're going to receive, and every single day you will see the Creator is devoted to everything that you are touching. Everything you touch, the Creator will have to be devoted to that. He's not going to say, oh, you know what, I don't have time, your friends, I have to go to your friends because you are not devoted. It doesn't work like that. It's a similar energy. You awaken a similarity by acting this way. Okay, so it's not about you doing, let's see, maybe the Creator is devoted to me. No. The idea is like attracts like. When you behave this way, obviously everything you touch is become very important to the Creator. Then he says, what type of korban? What type of sacrifice? He says, Adam ki yakriv mikem korban. It says in the reading, first of all, it has to be from you. Part of you need to be sacrificed. That's what it means. What does it mean? It means that we're all good in volunteering others, right? But from our money, from our time, no, I don't have time, but they have a lot of time. You should talk to them. Oh, you need help with financial help to support your cause. You should do that. A lot of people give me advices how I should raise money. Let's say if I want to help a certain group or certain things, a lot of people are very good in giving me advice, But that's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm very open from when somebody give me direction, go this, go do this. No problem. But what about you? What are you? Mikem, it has to come out of you. Out of your time, out of your money, out of your love, out of your effort. It's very much important. The first step that he says in this week, the way it started this week, he says, Adam ki yakriv mikem. Every human being needs to sacrifice, first of all, himself. From himself. If you're not willing to sacrifice something of you, your time, your effort, your attention, your money, your talent, whatever it is, has to come first. That's the first initial understanding. Then, because a lot of people are great in sacrifice of something they already gave up. You know, like imagine you have like you have an old t-shirt, right? But you love the t-shirt, but it's already ripped. And then the last straw was a stain. So you know what? I'm going to sacrifice my favorite shirt. I'm going to give it, right? Or a lot of us giving something after it's completely ripped and completely tear and completely old and outdated. Yeah, I'm going to give my family in Israel, because it's for them, it's considered to be very much a new thing. Here it's already old, right? Or we are good in giving up or calling sacrifice for something that you already in your mind, you gave it up, right? And in your mind, it's like, it doesn't really bother me to lose it. That's not sacrifice. It's nothing to do with something that you already gave in, right? Because if you don't have value in your eyes, that's not real sacrifice. So second idea for that, he says the word korban is sacrifice, korbanot, sacrifices. And he says in this week, right, this first verse, right, he says, Adam, one second, sorry. He says that Vayakriv oto lirtzono. He says that you should bring ask the Creator, right, to bring you closer. Now he says, what does it mean, bring you closer? Yakriv is also to sacrifice, but also to bring closer is the same word. To sacrifice and to bring closer, right? Lehakriv, to sacrifice, and lekarev, it's the same word, to bring closer. What is the consciousness over here? A lot of people speaking about, religiously, let's put it this way, they're talking God willing. Have you heard the word God willing? Have you heard that? God willing. If God will, or something bad happening, people say, it's God will. How is it possible there is a will of a God that something bad will happen? Yeah, I don't know. If God wants, that's what... A lot of people living life this way. First of all, there's the most ridiculous way of removing responsibility from ourselves. It's completely non-responsibility. It's God. God did it. What about you? That was God's will. Or if God willing, I'll... No. Let's understand that verse and that thing that people always talking and hiding behind that. Right? There is no creator that have zero will or have a lot of will for you to go through something bad. There's nothing like that. The will of the creator is le'ativ lenivrav, to bring more and better reality. Nothing less than that. So God's will is to give you way more than what you even think. But what he's saying here, yakriv oto lirtzono. What you need to ask every single day is to get closer. You want to get closer to the will, to the desire of the Creator. My desire is so small. Even if you have a big desire, it's still so small. What I'm asking, what I want the desire of the Creator have. I want to desire like the Creator has. This is what I'm asking every day. It's not God willing that will happen, or God willing the bad thing happen. No. Please, let's change it. And desiring the Creator's desire, not mine. My desire is very small, very limited. That's the second idea is bring yourself closer to the desire of the Creator. That, and what is the Creator wants? Way more than what you actually want. Way more better than what you even capable of thinking of goodness for others. Yakriv oto lirtzono, bring yourself closer to the desire of the Creator every single day. And that, it's a non-stop. It's a non-stop desire. It's a non-stop reality. It's a non-stop impossible become possible. Non-stop. And again, in order for me to have the desire of the Creator, I need to sacrifice every day what? A little bit of my pride, a little bit of my ego, a little bit of my selfishness, a little bit about chasing after approval of others, a little bit feeling good about myself in the eyes of such and such. Little bit, to sacrifice the need to put people down so you will feel good about yourself. Take it down every day. Because yes, I can desire the Creator's desire, but the second step I'm doing is like, what about me? Where is for me? That has to be removed. So therefore, if I want to get closer, remember, lekarev, it's the same word, to bring closer to myself, to the desire of the Creator, what do I need to do? First is I want each one of us this week, until you get to Purim, choose as many as you can victim consciousness mentality that you carry in yourself. Detect, find, located, where am I becoming a victim? Victim consciousness is also korban. Korban is a victim. The same word as karov, which is the same word as a sacrifice and the same word as bring closer. And he says, what am I sacrificing? I'm sacrificing the victim. Right? Some of us, when we're talking about victims, right? Oh, victims of crime, victims of this, victims of that, and eventually everybody agree with victims, which is fine. But when you victimize everything, when you become a victim about everything, eventually nobody wants to hear you. Victims, eventually, it's much like, oh man, I don't want to hear it anymore. You heard it once, you're compassionate about it, but if the person is writing on it all the time, you by yourself, I don't want to hear that anymore. So imagine if the universe can hear that person anymore. Yes, it goes by one to one, another friend. Okay, I burn out all my friends with my victim mentality. Let me find new friends. They don't know me, so let me tell them the story about my victimness of my parents and all of that. And then you write on it for another 6 months, and then they get tired of you, and then you move to another group. Eventually, the universe hears you, and it will catch you. So again, in order for me, I want to give you the steps. This is a beautiful thing that is all in this week. In order for me to bring myself to a tremendous desire like the Creator desire, I need to remove and sacrifice the victim mentality. Now, if it's easy to remove it, if it's easy the sacrifice are easy, you have to understand, you flip the letters, you get the word krav, which is battle. If it's not a battle, in the same word, korban, you have the word krav, which is a battle. If it's not a battle, the sacrifices, it's not real. It's not real. It does not create any movement. or any shift or any of what we call a momentum. Either it can be an external war or internal war. But that internal war, that internal battle create a momentum. Either it's external, you're fighting with a certain government office, or you're fighting about something, it doesn't matter, but it has to be both. The second, and then you know that every situation in our life, if you fell into a victim, if you did not remove your victim consciousness, if any situation that you were a victim of and you didn't deal with that, or dealt with that differently or spiritually, eventually what's happened to people, you take the word korban and you flip the letters, you get the word rakuv, which is rotten. And then, I'm going to explain to you, and then it's the same letter as kever, which is grave. A grave. So technically, a person digging his own grave. And a person throughout life, when they don't deal with situation, they have a backyard with a graveyard of many graves, of many situations that they were victim about. Oh, what my dad did to me 50 years ago, and my mom 30 years ago, and my brother did 20 years ago, my boss abused me 10 years ago. I never dealt with that. I let the reality be victimizing again and again and again, and then we never deal with that, meaning then you have a skeleton of a huge gravesite in your consciousness, it's in your life. And then you have to dig graves. Right? So it's important to understand you don't bury anything. You don't bury anything in your life. You awaken a desire for the desire of the Creator. And this is how you deal with things. With the level of the Creator, not the level of victim, not the level of the receiver, the vessel. From the level of the Creator. So remember, you can dig a grave for yourself by not dealing with any situation, or you not open up about something, or a relationship that you have that you're not dealing with, something that they say, something that open up about it. Otherwise you dig in a grave, it's all rotten inside. It's the same word. Eventually you're going to stay a victim. These are the steps. These are very important understanding, because then a person have a graveyard of bitterness, of fears. He doesn't even know where their fear comes from. Allergies and all kind of like weirdness comes out in that person's life. All of a sudden, this age or that age, things come up. What do you mean? In the physical body is when a person doesn't deal with the spiritual part of him. Eventually, it will translate as physical diseases, right? What does it mean? A person is sick, right? Chole, someone is sick, is the same numerical value called 49. And we know in Egypt, why do we have to get out of Egypt? It represents the 49 of impurity. When a person falls into 49 gates, right? There's one gate. If you fall to the 50, then death. But a person can go all the way down and can still revive themselves. Can still, no matter how. And that is important to understand for all of us. Very important not to keep it going. So the Kabbalists say, in order for us to live a healthier way, if you take the word karov, right, close, or korban, right, you flip the letter, you get the word boker. Look how many flips. For one word. Boker is in the morning, right? What people do in the morning, usually, it's not like exciting and motivation, right? Depending if there's something waiting for you. But in general, it's like, slow cooking, slow opening. I need my coffee, I need my this, I need my that. And then, or you open your text and you see how bad people are. And then you're like, oh my God, they didn't text, or they didn't do, or that, all kind of things. And then you get worked up, or you get like a little energy. The Kabbalists installed for us in the morning, the first thing to do is right away speak to your Creator. Right away. Don't speak to anybody. Don't go into your text. Don't go into your videos. Don't go into your social media. That's what you do every morning when you go, you browse through the new things in what happened since 5 hours you went to sleep or 10 hours and then until now. What changes? I'm not sure, right? But the first thing you need to do, and it's in the habit of that in the morning, it's the key. That's already tell you the secret is. Tell you it's right away in the morning. The first thing you open up in your eyes, right away, I want today the desire of the Creator. And therefore, you're not going to touch your phone. You're not going to be bothered by that. You have a bigger thing to do today, which is first talk to your Creator. Talk to your Creator, and the prayers or the meditation that you do with yourself. And of course, the Kabbalists have an exactness what to do every day as you wake up. As soon as you open your eyes, you need to be in charge. Otherwise, the day will take over you. So the key is, in the morning, you wake up to the reality of the Creator, not mine. And therefore, I want to manage this day by the desire of the Creator. And therefore, we have many different prayers and meditations, different names we're connecting every day in the morning to activate our soul right away, instead of let the body managing our day. And that's very important to remember. And that's whoever interested, as you accelerate in the study or in a connection, you can increase that as well. Last thing is another security system. The word of this week is called Vayikra, the portion called Vayikra. Vayikra, and God called upon Moses, right? Vayikra Hashem el Moshe, and the Creator called upon Moses. Now we heard it many times, but the word Vayikra, it's a code, right? The word Vayikra, and he called upon. Again, I know some of us, a lot of us, not really always study deeper in Kabbalah, but it's important to mention that and to stretch our vessel. In the Zohar, it's explained that the Creator, he says that the word mokir, which means he highly respecting his child, his channel Moses. In the Zohar, he gives a bit more extensive explanation. But the word that Moses heard, that's why he wrote it, it's Vayikra, and God calling me. So imagine each one of you, when somebody tells you, hey, I need to speak to you later. How do you feel about it? Remind me to speak to you later. Or come to me in the end of the session, I have to tell you something, right? Or remind me tomorrow. What tomorrow? Tell me now. Don't do it to me, right? Anybody? When somebody tells you, let me tell you something later. Oh, later, I have to talk to you later. What does he have to talk to me? Yeah. What? A person cannot handle it. So imagine the Creator called upon Moses. He says, what the Creator wants from me, right? What again did I do, right? But it's not. The Creator, because of the humility of Moses, he could not hear how the Creator is granted him with greatness. Mokir is like highly, respectfully, excited about the channel Moses. How do we learn that? What do we learn from that? In the word of Vayikra, the word ends with the letter Aleph. And Aleph, you don't pronounce it. You don't, the first letter of Aleph, you don't pronounce it, you don't hear it. Right? Vayikra, you don't hear the word like you don't hear that, you don't pronounce it. To indicate something very important. The Aleph it's the code for Alufo Shel Olam, the light of the Creator. The Creator of the world is represented by the letter Aleph. That's why the Torah never started with Aleph, started with Bet. One of the part of the reasons. So the Aleph represents Or, which is Or, it's light. And therefore, the Creator doesn't need to be heard, doesn't need to be pronounced. It doesn't have that need to be shown, to be heard, to be seen, unlike us. Everything we do, we want to make sure there's a signature. You see, there's art. I'm sure there's some signature somewhere, right? It's a hidden signature. Most of the time, anyone who creates something, just put my name a little bit. Or just don't forget to tell them it's me. Or, me and them, we did that. Not they and I joined, right? So I did it and they helped me, right? Most of the time, we put the Aleph, what the first is me, Ani. Ani is I am, right? That's you can connect with, like Aleph, the word Aleph can be Ani, which is me, or it can be the light, or same Aleph, right? So that is indicate for us is when we want to be connected to the desire of the Creator. Part of it is to, remove the need or the me consciousness with everything you do. It's completely the opposite of what the Creator wants to do. The Creator wants to give you all. You did it. That's why the Creator gave us the ability to be creator in this world. So we will feel we actually owning some ownership of this world. So a lot of us want that people know I was the influencer there. I started that. I said that. It was my idea. It's important that my credit will be written there. And by the way, it's me. And then all of that. Our need, this is what you want to sacrifice. That is difficult sacrifice, but is the only sacrifice that can bring the light of the Creator to shine from you and on. So, step number one, in order to achieve what we just spoke about, the idea of Vayikra, to be called upon, is in the word, Korban, Krav, or in the same word of victim, you can find the word Kara, which is Mikre, which is coincidental. If you're still living your life and you think something is in a mistake, something is coincidental, what a crazy synchronicity. Again, there are no words to describe it, but a lot of people are calling it, what a random thing. If you have that word still in your vocabulary, there's no way you get closer to the Creator's desire. There's no way. Because everything is managed, moved by the light of the Creator. So step number one, the consciousness of coincidence has to be removed immediately. Everything is exactly and precisely moving in this world. Not mistakenly, not randomly, not any of that. Step number two, every calling in our life is a calling from the Creator. For example, somebody called you up. When you pick up the phone, who is it? It's the bank. Oh, it's my neighbor. Oh, it's my mom. No. It's from the Creator. Every request that comes to your life, you start communicating, wow, it's from the Creator. What does the Creator want for me here? To do or not to do? Is it sometimes it's to do, sometimes it's to do less, sometimes it's to let others. So any calling is a calling from the Creator. Any person who demands something from you, that's from the Creator. It's not a mistake, right? And to see the preciseness and the exactness in everything in this world. And step number 3, right, is stop looking where your name can be inserted in the situation. Stop the idea of little shines or little, I want to be the spark, little shine in the room, right? Not to look for where you can get credit, not to look good in the eyes of people. Don't look for that. If it happened, run away from that. Run away from honor and from involving myself. And willing to sacrifice my ego. That is the direction, the key, the process in order to achieve a real devotion to your spiritual path. There are many, many different secrets. I'm going to share more as we go. But these are the few ideas that are very important to this week. And as well, getting closer to Purim. Purim is the greatest revelation of awakening light from above, receiving a gift. In Purim, you're receiving a gift. One of the gifts that you receive for free is certainty beyond logic. Certainty beyond logic. A reality that you can live in, a reality that nothing is obviously is too small and nothing is too big, right? Absolute certainty. And that is the gift in Purim. But for that, I need to awaken a desire of the Creator. I need to get closer to have the desire of the Creator. You know how big is that desire? How mighty of that desire? That's a desire that doesn't really bend for little ego, for little respect, for little me. What about my credit? It's all gone when you have that desire. But for that, you need to awaken sacrifices. And the real sacrifice is something that of your ego, something of, as we spoke, highly recommended to listen again, make some notes, and start, taking the step to achieving a greater desire than you have today. Thank you for joining us today.